In the year 680 AD, before his death, Muawiyah deceitfully appointed his son Yazid as caliph upon the Ummah. When Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, learnt of this, he refused to pledge allegiance to Yazid. Yazid wanted Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, to pledge allegiance to him, because if Imam Hussein did so, people would accept his rule. But since Imam Hussein did not do this, Yazid began to resort to vile actions just like his father. When the people of Kufa learned that Yazid had gained power through deceit, they wrote letters to Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, inviting him to come to Kufa so that, under his leadership, they could stand against the tyrant Yazid and establish a government based on justice and Islamic principles. Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, set out from Mecca towards Kufa with around 70 people. However, Yazid had already learned that Imam Hussein intended to go to Kufa and establish a government against him. So Yazid removed the then governor of Kufa, Nu'man ibn Bashir, from his post because he was a companion of the Prophet and held great respect for Imam Hussein, peace be upon him. In his place, that tyrant appointed Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad as governor. On the other hand, as Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, was traveling towards Kufa, Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad sent a large army towards Imam Hussein. Eventually, on the 20th of Muharram, this army confronted Imam Hussein along the way at a place called Karbala. The leader of Yazid's army was Umar ibn Sa'ad. He tried to force Imam Hussein to pledge allegiance to Yazid, but Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, said that he could not pledge allegiance to a tyrant. He threatened Imam Hussein, but he remained steadfast in upholding the truth. A few days later, when Umar ibn Sa'ad realized that Imam Hussein would not surrender, he cut off the water supply to Imam Hussein's caravan and stationed his army by the river. The name of this river was the Euphrates, which we know today as the Euphrates River. This is the same river about which the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that before the day of judgment, gold will emerge from this river and people will die fighting over it. When, on the 7th of Muharram, the water supply to Imam Hussein's caravan was cut off, this marked the beginning of the height of oppression. At that time in Karbala, the temperature was around 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. In such intense heat, even if a person drinks water to their fill, they will only be able to stave off thirst for 2 to 3 hours at most. But here, the water had been completely cut off. Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, and his companions spent 4 days without water. As soon as 24 hours pass without drinking water, a person begins to feel intense thirst, causing the mouth to become dry, fatigue to set in, and both physical performance and endurance to start declining. After 2 days, the thirst will become even more intense, the mouth will be completely dry, and the skin will also become dry and lose much of its elasticity. At this point, the body will repeatedly signal the need for water, and the mind will be consumed with thoughts of nothing but water. In addition, sensations of lightness, dizziness, and confusion will begin, causing blood volume and pressure to decrease. The heartbeat will start to increase in order to maintain blood pressure. After 3 days, the thirst will become unbearable. The brain will start to function less, confusion will increase, there will be severe pain in the muscles and head, the eyes will sink in, and the skin will become even drier and more wrinkly. The body will breathe rapidly in an attempt to compensate for the reduced blood volume. After 4 days, the body will no longer be able to maintain blood pressure, which will lead to shock. And due to reduced blood flow to the brain, confusion, hallucinations, or even loss of consciousness may occur. By that time, a person's organs can also start to fail, such as the kidneys, which can lead to death. Now imagine the condition of a person who has a 6-month-old son and a 4-year-old daughter, and is surrounded by thousands of armies. What would their state be? On the day of Ashura, Imam Hussein's son Ali Akbar asked him for permission to face the enemy army. Ali Akbar was so handsome that his mother used to keep him veiled. He closely resembled the Prophet, peace be upon him. As soon as Ali Akbar entered the battlefield, he began to defeat the enemies one after another. When Umar ibn Sa'ad saw this, he realized that this was Ali's grandson. He ordered his army to attack all at once, and archers began shooting arrows at Ali Akbar from a distance, so that attacks came at him from all sides, and he was martyred. When Imam Hussein alayhi salam came to Ali Akbar, he looked at him and said, "If only Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam were here today, I would tell him that you sacrificed one son while your eyes were covered, but see how I am sacrificing your son." After the martyrdom of Ali Akbar, Imam Hussein lifted his other son Ali Asghar in his arms and went to the Yazidi army saying, "If not for me, At least give water to this child." But a vile oppressor shot an arrow at Ali Asghar's throat, martyring him. In this way, both of Imam Hussein's sons, Ali Akbar and Ali Asghar, were martyred, both of whom he had named after his father Ali. Now, it had been 4 days since Imam Hussein's alayhi salam caravan had last had water. So the brave son of Imam Ali alayhi salam, Hazrat Abbas, asked Imam Hussein for permission to fetch water. He was such a courageous son of Imam Ali alayhi salam that people, upon witnessing his bravery, would call him Imam. Hazrat Abbas mounted his horse and swiftly advanced towards the river, where an army was already standing guard. Hazrat Abbas broke through this army, killing every hypocrite who came in his way. Witnessing this, the entire army retreated, and Hazrat Abbas reached the river. He filled the water bag. As soon as Hazrat Abbas saw the water, he felt the urge to drink, since he had been thirsty for the past 4 days. But he could not bring himself to drink while his family sat thirsty. He filled the water bag and turned back, once again breaking through the army as he made his way back. But a tyrant attacked his arm. The very hand in which he was holding the water bag, his arm was severed. He took the water bag in his other hand and hurried towards the tents, but his other arm was also severed. Then he held the water bag with his teeth, but alas, the oppressors shot an arrow at his hip, causing all the water in the bag to spill. When Imam Hussein came to Hazrat Abbas said, "Brother, forgive me, I could not bring water for you." And with these words, he was martyred. In such a dire situation, Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, was burying the bodies of his loved ones one after another, and now the time had come when this lion stood alone before the Yazidi army. Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, was wounded and completely exhausted from the intensity of thirst. In his hand was a sword called Zulfikar, the very same sword that was once with the Prophet, peace be upon him, the same sword that was with Imam Ali, and now this sword was with Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein advanced swiftly towards the army, cutting through their ranks, and one oppressor after another fell. This lion, thirsty for 4 days, was fighting with such bravery. When Umar ibn Sa'd saw this, he said, "This is Ali's son, stay away from him and attack him with arrows." The entire army rained arrows down upon Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, and his blessed body became covered with arrows. Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, fell to the ground, performed his final prostration before Allah, and was martyred. There is a book called the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle. This book was written in the Kingdom of Wessex in the 9th century and was published in England in 1996. It records all the important incidents that took place in Britain, starting from the era of Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him. On page 38 of this same book, a strange incident is recorded that took place in the year 685 AD. The book states that in that year, so much blood rained down from the sky that even milk and butter turned into blood. But what was the reason behind this, and why did it happen? The book mentions that this incident occurred in the year 685 AD. If we look at it according to the Islamic calendar, this is the time after the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, peace be upon him. And in that same year, there was a rain of blood in Britain, so much so that even milk and butter turned into blood. Even the sky wept tears of blood in mourning for Hussein. The mention of this incident is not only found in this book, but there are also many other books that indicate that after the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, blood rained from the sky. As written in all these Sunni books, there was not a single stone that was lifted without finding blood underneath it. Many historians have also stated that in Palestine, in Baitul Maqdis, whenever a stone was lifted, blood was found underneath it, and for 3 consecutive days there was a solar eclipse. In addition, Ibn Hajar, who is a very prominent scholar of Islam, has written many hadiths. He recorded a hadith in which a woman named Nadra al-Azdiyah, who was the same age as Imam Hussein, she said that when Hussein was martyred, so much blood rained from the sky that the next morning we saw our jugs and vessels were filled with blood. Besides all this, many other books have also mentioned the sky weeping. You can see the names of these books on the screen. All these books state that on the day of Imam Hussein's martyrdom, the sky turned red and remained red for several days. Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, had said that when the sky turns red it is weeping. But the impact of Imam Hussein's martyrdom was not limited to the sky. It also affected animals and even the jinn. There is a hadith in which the Prophet's wife, al-Mu'mineen Salama, narrates that she herself heard the jinn mourning over Imam Hussein's martyrdom with her own ears. Even the jinn were grieved by the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, peace be upon him.